if this sounds better. I'm going to check the sound settings on my Mac as well. Everything. All right, I think we're good to go. I will go on here. Okay, I'm just going to get everything set up really quick. All right, well, hey everybody, thanks so much for tuning in to Young Money Investments. So we're going to get started here. Most of you should kind of know the gist. We're just kind of getting started right now on doing a live stock pick Sunday edition for the channel. So be patient with me as I'm trying to figure this out. I'm new to a lot of this. My goal in today's video, again, trying to keep it pretty short and sweet to the point. I'll open it up for questions at the end. The goal for the first little part is to go over some of the positions that I got into a little bit earlier on this week and some of the positions that I'm currently in and holding. If you don't follow me on Instagram right now, you probably want to get on that and follow me. I post daily stories. My stories are pretty good on Instagram, and it details some of the positions I'm in, some of the ones I'm selling out of. If you have questions about support, resistance, a stock that you're interested in, add me on Instagram, because that's a platform that I use a lot more. These YouTube videos are kind of hard to like get edited and get put out there. So I try to do like 3 YouTube videos, 2 to 3 YouTube videos a week. And that's second, but I'll minimize this so I'm a little bit smaller down here in the bottom corner. I think if I usually scoot over, it's a little bit better. So let's do this. Yeah, that looks about, looks good right there. All right. And then I think we're gonna pull this over. Okay. Hopefully this is good. Like I said, this is a work in progress, so thanks so much for your patience. So I'm actually not in Hertz right now. This is actually a company I'm not going to talk about today unless we want to go over it. First position that I got into towards the beginning of the week, and it's still consolidated, is going to be the ticker symbol CCE. CCE is Coca-Cola European Partners. Big reason I got into this one was because of the horizontal pattern that you can see that it trades here. If you notice, there's a very consistent ceiling right about here. And you can also see resistance up here, and you can see where the support has been down this way. Now, we did have quite a big sell-off down in this section. I've been waiting, and if you look at the chart section right here, you'll notice that this EMA line has not necessarily acted as a resistance. It's been more so this resistance right here at about 38.60 that I've kind of had resistance at. My goal in seeing this swing trade is riding the profit. You can see the SMA is starting to kind of flatten out, but you can see a good potential for profit in this one of about 8%. The time frame that it takes to, hey Nick, how's it going, man? Sorry, I'm trying to get this all figured out. Yes, I can go over BDX here a little bit later for sure. I'll do that in the, I'll do that when I'm doing, gosh, if I can figure this out here. I'll do that when I'm going over questions and everything. So I can for sure do that for you. So CCE, like I said, offers a good potential for profit of right around, let's see, where's my drawing tools? There it is. Right around roughly about 7 to 8%. I would maybe wait to buy in. I bought in a little bit early. I'm in this position about 7,000. I want to say I'm in, just so I can be accurate here, I have 200 shares of CCE, and so I'm sitting at an average cost basis of about 38.61. So I'm sitting right up here. I bought a little bit before it broke. I would recommend, like I said, waiting until you hit probably 38.63-ish before getting into CCE if that is a position you're wanting to be in. Like I said, buying in at this point right in here at about 38.55, 38.60, and selling somewhere probably right around this range. I'd say if you sell somewhere right around 41.50, 41.60, you should be in good shape for CCE. So that's going to be the first one that I bought into. I believe back on Tuesday was when I did that. American Airlines, ticker symbol AAL, is another position that I took earlier on this week. Now, I left off the lines to kind of do a breakdown for you. So if you can see the technical analysis right through here, you can see quite a bit of support reaching down through this section. You can see a lot of consolidation happening down here. And then you can see also a little bit of another tier right up in this region. What I see with this is basically it's traded as a very horizontal pattern. Again, I'm looking at, if you notice the stocks that I've called out so far, you'll notice that they trade very horizontally. I like that pattern for the simple fact that with the horizontal pattern, it's very continuous, it's very noticeable. I'm buying in early. I've seen this consolidation though, and so I don't believe that it has room to sell off anymore. Now, if it does break this floor right here at about 41, I'd say 41.70 or so, I will end up cutting my losses on this position. I'll end up cutting a loss for roughly, this is about 3.45%. I would say I'm probably going to cut losses at about 3% on this. Now, again, in full disclosure, if I was recommending getting into American Airlines, where I would say to potentially buy is if it does have a dip, and buying it down at this price range right here at around 42.02. That way it gives you at least a potential for an upside on this of running right around 8.7%, and then selling off. If it does continue to break and can break above the SMA, you could see quite a bit more margin for profit long term. But I do see this SMA potentially acting as resistance, as it has through this area acted as support and resistance as the stock had tried to break above it as it had that continual downturn pattern. So American Airlines is another one that I do see kind of a good weak swing trade in. I might add more to my position. I'm currently in it for 75 shares and plan on getting in a little bit more here. Another one that I want to go over from last week was L Brands. So L Brands had quite, sorry about all the notifications. L Brands was one of those that had quite a good week. It had quite a good run up intra week. This is one that still is doing that consolidation pattern. So if we were to continue to draw that line through here and keeping it exactly straight, literally, I mean, it's really consolidating along this line. If you could have gotten it in this price, that's where I ended up buying quite a bit of L Brand shares. It did offer a nice little potential for about a 7 to 8% profit margin, and I did end up swing trading that from the dips here. But long term, L Brands is a position that I see doing a long-term hold in. Again, I'm not necessarily just swing trading this. I will buy L Brands whether it's in the $30 price range or whether it's all the way up to the $40 price range. As you can see, I have a buy order or a reminder and alert right here on L Brands for when it hits 41.86, because I see that as a good potential either to sell out some of my position or to end up adding more if I do see the upside in the long term for L Brands. So L Brands has had a good week. I think I ended up making probably $1,000 off of L Brands. I do have a larger position in there though, definitely over 20,000 in L Brands. Another company that I took, and this is going to be probably my last swing trade that I'm going to go over that I took a position in this week earlier on, was T-Mobile, or ticker symbol TMUS. Again, third call out that I'm going over, that is a very horizontal pattern. Why do I like horizontal patterns? Well, because I can see the support and resistance lines very clearly, very easily. I can see, okay, where is a good buy point and where is a good sell point? Again, you look at this chart pattern here, you've seen over the past 180 days how very consistent it has been through this pattern. I see right down here at about 55.50 being a good support. If it were to sell off anything below roughly 54.80, I would end up cutting losses. Right now I see a lot of good consolidation. I do see this EMA acting as support as it continues to push the stock upwards. I was hoping that this week I would have more of a push up. It didn't go according to plan. But what I see here, I see a lot of value in doing a short swing trade, buying in from 58.64 up to about where our current SMA line is. That offers about 3.84 potential for profit, and I see that being a nice little day trade or 2-day swing trade. So if you're looking for something with little risk and you're wanting to mitigate your risk in your swing trades / day trades, T-Mobile or TMUS is one that I would actually recommend looking at, not only because of the fact that it has that smaller kind of upside potential, but because of the consistent patterns. And even from there, I mean, if you were to buy in here and you were to write it up to about $60, you're looking at about 2.74% profit. Again, these aren't big potentials, but profit is profit and consistency is consistency. If your weekly goal is 5% and you're able to get half of that with one trade, those are things that you want to look for, and those are things that I like seeing in these trades here. Any of my long positions, I guess maybe I'll start covering a few of my long positions as well for the viewers that are doing any long-term trading. I can't see anything. Oh, I totally forgot one more. Totally forgot one more. Last one that we need to talk about, and this is one that I bought heavily in. I think I bought $21,000 worth of Tesla. So Tesla, big. Support right here at 300. This has been a consistent support line right now. We've recently had a sell-off right here to about 274. Now, if you look at this pattern, what do you see here? And if any of you want to call it out on what you're seeing in this pattern, where do you see a nice support line on here? Well, if you're looking at this and you go off of, besides this when we had a nice little market correction, I would say right here, sorry for all the notifications, guys. I would say right here, we have a great little support line that Tesla has also been showing as of recent. Now, if you're planning on getting into Tesla, let me preface this by saying one of two things. If you're going to cut your losses, notice that you could have a potential for loss from 274, 275 down to about 250, 244. I'd say 250 is very fair. That offers an 8.81% potential for a loss in that. So if it does start to break the floor here, or your support, that is a sign that you need to sell out of your Tesla position. What I have done is I started buying when it dropped down to about 276, or sorry, let me tell you what my average cost basis is. I think it probably is right in there. 283. So my average cost basis was right in here. As you can see, there was some, again, a lot of support going on in here. It had another little bit of a sell-off recently as of Friday, but I also see now from right here to $300, offering another 8% potential for profit. If you look at RSI, you're going to notice that it is way, 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 way oversold. And I didn't go over this on the other stocks, so I'm so sorry. When you go back through this video, please look at the RSI on there, because RSI is important as well in getting into these picks. So if I was analyzing this and I were you, again, this is my personal opinion, not something that I'm telling you to do. But the first thing I would do is I'd go, okay, let me look at the overall pattern here that I've seen in Tesla. I'd go, okay, I've seen it maxing out right up here at about 356. Great. It's had a lot of horizontal consolidation before it's had this massive sell-off that it had down here. Well, it had a floor right here at about 250. It came back and had quite a bit of resistance right here through $300, right? 300 has been a consistent either support or resistance for Tesla, even dating back 6 months ago. Didn't want to break this, but then and even up here when it had that massive sell-off, it bounced back from the 300 price point. The reason that is partly is because $300 is a psychological number. People do not stock, traders, and whether you're buying or selling, 300 is kind of a floor. And so you can see where then it rallied up, came back down, and I would go, okay, looking at this from kind of a current situation and what's going on with the stock, I would go, okay, so I'm seeing a lot of consolidation around 300. I wouldn't have wanted to buy Tesla at $300 unless I saw it trending up and the EMA line was pointing up. Right through here it was trending up, but right here you could tell it started to get weak, and that's when you would notice sell. But focusing right now on, oh my gosh, my roommate's watching me as I do this video, staring at me like, Trevor, you're weird. Freaking weird. Oh my gosh, just eating his freaking Sunday snack right now. You can see a support right here through 274. Again, I like this because it has been support so many different times. I plan on Monday morning, getting in and buying Tesla, especially as it breaks VWAP for a day trade. Again, if it does break below and gets to probably right here around 270-ish, I am going to end up cutting for a loss. Now my loss on that, let's say it was at 270, is going to roughly be about 4%. That I could potentially lose on that. Now, I didn't have a bigger position. I've averaged in to be down right in here. But let's say I'd end up having a 3.6% potential for loss. Most likely I want to be selling that low. If it gets down here into 273-ish, I am going to be coming up into kind of my sell-off territory. I have a friend that was actually in Tesla, and he ended up cutting losses and stopping out because of his desired price points and everything. Again, though, I do like the RSI where it's at. It shows that it's oversold right now. MACD is indicating the same thing. One more thing that I also really like about Tesla currently, and this is going to be more news related. If you notice, I do a lot of technical analysis along with fundamental trading. And so I wanted to go over what was going on with Tesla here. So there's a news article that came out, and it says Elon Musk drops new specifications for Tesla's Model 3 updates. 78,000 at the high end and quicker than a BMW. So I don't know if you can actually, well, it's going to be a small screen anyway, see this article, but this article was released as of probably a day ago on CNBC. What that means, and the reason why I believe that Tesla is going to bounce on Monday, is because every time Tesla rebounds, it rebounds because of good news on the Model 3 or Model S. Tesla is very news driven. And so I also, based on technicals and based on news going on with Tesla, I see this being able to come back up to somewhere in the $300 price range and being able to make a solid 7.72% potential for profit. That's why I'm in it at 21,000 deep right now. Plan on probably adding at least another $10,000 tomorrow morning in Tesla. That's just going to be my call. Again, follow me on Instagram if you want to see what I do tomorrow morning. That is going to be it as far as my swing trades go. I'm not going to go over longs because I'm taking too long today and I'm a little kind of, I guess, all over the place. Nick, you were saying you wanted me to go over BDX and kind of go over the technical analysis on that, and let me do that right now for you. So looking at BDX right now, 180-day chart, it has had some massive like fluctuations. It's usually pretty consistent. I know obviously 9.17% is not a massive percentage-wise, but if you look, it's had some very crazy intraday swings. So that's something that first off, I see you needing to watch out for with BDX, is not getting into, and just so you know, BDX is Becton Dickinson. It's a biomedical company that produces a lot of like insulin syringes and things like that for diabetics and things like that. Here it was showing a very nice consistent uptrend pattern, and then you notice as of recently it's had a lot of a channel pattern kind of going on. What I'm going to do here is kind of draw support and resistance. I see a good little floor here, kind of riding right around right here, kind of being a good floor. Profits, and with it kind of tapping or tipping the scales somewhere lately right in this range. So currently my feeling on BDX is that it's a little bit overbought. What this is going to mean is that I believe it's pushing up above the EMA. If you were going to buy, I'd want it to have a sell-off and come back from where it's currently at 327, and being able to buy somewhere down closer to the EMA. I'm trying to see what that actual difference in price would be, and you're looking at 0.5%, so it's not really going to be that big of a deal. Honestly and truly, I wouldn't swing trade BDX. I think it's at a good point if you're wanting to potentially sell and get into something else and you see better value in another company. It's not an upward rise as well. The last thing I wanted to talk about, I guess, with BDX, let me check and see what else you were saying on there. J. Cole says, do you consider MACD, let me see here, sorry. Do you consider MACD as well, or just merely focus on EMA and RSI? I have MACD on there because I do consider MACD as well. Honestly and truly though, I don't use it all too often. I use the RSI way more, especially in my day trades. But when I'm getting into a swing trade position, I love to see that RSI somewhere below 30. If it's in a 28 to 30 range, that is really nice. And if it goes along with support and resistance, that's kind of where I'm going to be sticking at. MACD is one more that I will use. If you like using MACD, use it. Obviously, my strategy doesn't always have to be the one size fits all. But I will say this. If the RSI and your technicals are looking pretty good, usually the MACD is kind of another, corroborating key indicator that you can use as well. I don't go over it just because I haven't done a training on the MACD yet. But if you do know how to use it, use it. I think those three tools themselves, technical analysis in terms of support and resistance, EMA, SMA, and RSI, those things are really big, but MACD helps as well. So that is kind of my take on everything. I don't see any other new questions. Thanks so much for that question there, J. Cole. I'm going to maybe pull this up here and make it a little bit bigger on the screen. Maybe we'll just do it like this and see here. Yeah, we'll do something like that. That's going to be basically my call outs for the week. Like I said, kind of in conclusion here, T-Mobile, that's going to be one that I do see some value in, potentially in swing trading for short term or doing a longer swing trade on that. Tesla's another big one. That's my main one that I really did want to go over with y'all was hitting Tesla. Yeah, you're very welcome. Really did want to go over Tesla just because of the simple fact that I love Tesla because I can see myself, long-term being able to ride out any dips in Tesla. I believe in it long-term. And so if I end up bag holding a swing trade or a day trade, well, then I don't really care. I see long-term value in it. Do I see there being a lot of a lot of turmoil and a lot of potential risk in Tesla short term? Yeah, I do. But long term, I think Tesla is going to be a major player in the auto industry, as well as power and everything like that. So I think that's really important. Other thing I want to talk about, I got a Rode microphone, so my sound is going to be a whole lot better. I just got to buy another cord that's actually coming from Amazon tomorrow. Apparently you need like a TRRS cord, but my sound is going to be a lot better for all y'all that probably are hating my sound quality right now. Besides Tesla, T-Mobile, L Brands, like I said, is kind of that long-term position I'm still buying in right now. American Airlines is showing a good potential. And then Coca-Cola Europe is the other one, ticker symbol CCE. So thank you so much for tuning in, guys. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave them down there in the comment section. If you're watching this after it was live, always feel free to go on and write those comments down. So thank you so much for tuning in to Young Money Investments, and I will talk to all y'all later. Bye.